Hey, and welcome to Tech Tips with Sold Out Media. I'm Amanda.
I'm Marcus.
Yeah. So, guys, we've been doing a microphone testing marathon. And again, there's lots of microphones out there that we could add to this test. Deity just came out with a brand new wireless system, like literally this week. Mm-hmm. So that would be one that we could have tested. But we didn't because it just came out. There was another microphone called Senheisser I wanted to add to this. But I mean, looking at some features, these were the ones we wanted to test the most.
Yeah. And
so that's where we're at.
Yes.
The whole purpose that started this was Marcus needed a microphone.
Indeed.
So, Marcus, let me tell you how these guys performed a little bit.
Please do.
We did a distance test. Mm-hmm. And in the distance test, with line of sight, so that was me facing the transmitter with the receiver, and all of these went over 120 meters, mostly. Okay. And then the biggest winners were the LENSGO and the Saramonic, which went well past 120 meters before we lost line of sight, as you can see in the footage. But without line of sight, the LENSGO was actually the worst of the mics. It had to be within 20 meters to be able to have any kind of consistent signal. The other ones, after 25 meters, they really were choppy. So, guys, if you're going to get microphones like this, line of sight is key.
Yes.
Marcus, we tested some of these because we're also looking at not just recording ENG audio, but studio audio.
Yes.
What are your thoughts about that? Yeah. I mean, when it comes to line of sight, even with the broadcast microphones, like the more expensive Senheisers and the Sonys, we have had dropped audio over the years.
Yeah.
Like the festival stage.
Yeah, it was insane.
Right? So oftentimes what we do as broadcasters is we put extra antennas up all over the scene so that you get line of sight from every angle. So bear that in mind. Even with a bigger system, line of sight still is an issue.
And I find that some of these actually perform better than our broadcast ones.
Yeah, because you tested it last night, didn't you?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
So you hear an RF feed going in and out, or a noise. The RF noise in our own Sony broadcast, but you didn't hear it in the Senheiser. You didn't hear it in the Senheiser was the only one that was in the same spot. So this is only a fair comparison. Yeah,
exactly. And part of the reason why we tested the Senheiser opposed to these other ones is it has a little bit of better broadcast quality build, which is something I like about this unit. It has the screwed on lavalier microphone. The other three, I don't think the Rode had a screwed on. No. When you have people who are not TV people and you're interviewing them, they're very clumsy with microphones. So it's so easy for them to accidentally pull the microphone out of the socket. So having a transmitter with a screwed on microphone lock, it is really a must.
Yeah. How is the Sony ones?
They have screwed on too.
Okay.
Yeah.
But because the Shure ones has like a mini XLR.
Exactly.
And it's very sturdy.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
But it's another price bracket.
It's a whole other price bracket. And I actually have a Shure wireless transmitter receiver and one of the older Rode ones as well. And I mean, they're great up to a point, right? Yeah. These actually, I would think, outperform my older Shure microphone. Just because I had a lot of issue with line of sight with that one. Yeah. And those were on broadcast frequencies. So the frequency range under which broadcast microphones operate is actually within the range that we use our cell phones. We actually were given notice a few years ago across the Western Hemisphere that we were no longer allowed to use wireless microphones and transmitters or comms and belt packs within this frequency range. So the entire industry had to just ditch hundreds of thousands worth of broadcast gear and invest in new ones in different frequency range. I can't remember if it was the 700 kilohertz
I think it was
range.
A 500 hertz.
500 hertz, yeah. And the government just made it obsolete for us so that they could give us 4G instead. But anyway, that's why these 2.4 gigahertz frequency range ones, they actually can be stronger because of the wavelengths. Anyway, let's move along.
Sure.
In terms of battery life, let me just read some specs for you. We did a test with these guys. We charged them to full, and then we drained them completely. And we put it on a time lapse with our GoPro, and this is what we found. So with the LENSGO, it claims that it can go up to 7 hours with it, and only takes 1.3 hours to charge. We made it to 7.5 hours in our test, which was awesome. The Saramonic claims up to 8 hours with a 3-hour charge. We only made it to 7 hours with the Saramonic. With the Rode, it claims up to 7 hours with a 2-hour charge time. We made it to 6 hours and 45 minutes, so that was pretty close. And then with the Senheisser, it's a 3-hour charge and claims a 5-hour battery life. We made it to 4 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, just a minute shy. So that's how long. Now, the most important thing when you're talking about microphones, beyond the battery life, because that is something with things you can't replace batteries in the field, that's important. But anything over 4 hours, you should probably be fine, because you're not often running the mic the whole 4 hours, right?
Yes.
The most important thing is the sound quality. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
Tell us what we did.
So, the ones that had a built-in microphone, we recorded the built-in microphone, and we also recorded with the Senheisser's leveler on each one of them, and we did it in a studio environment, and we did it in a noisy environment.
Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, and the cow jumped over the moon. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, and the cow jumped over the moon. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, and the cow jumped over the moon. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, and the cow jumped over the moon. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, and the cow jumped over the moon. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, and the cow jumped over the moon. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon.
Hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock struck 1, and the mouse ran down. Hickory dickory dock, hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock struck 1, the mouse ran down. Hickory dickory dock, hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock struck 1, the mouse ran down. Hickory dickory dock, hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock struck 1, the mouse ran down. Hickory dickory dock, hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock struck 1, and the mouse ran down. Hickory dickory dock, hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock struck 1, the mouse ran down. Hickory dickory dock.
So if we start with the ones with the built-in microphone, well, since it was built with a microphone, it should sound good, and it does. They sound quite equal, since the Senheisser isn't a part of this.
Exactly, the Sennheiser doesn't have a built-in microphone.
Yeah, and I will come to that part later. But it doesn't look very nice to have a big thing.
And I mean, I get kind of maybe news guys might like that, or vloggers might like that, but I come from a generation of TV people who our entire purpose is to hide the microphone.
Yeah.
The less seen a microphone is, even I've always been embarrassed that we've had to use these lav microphones over the years. Our studio is so noisy. We're in a tin can basically. So using shotgun mics and stuff like that, it's not the best for us. Yeah. Right?
And some wedding photographers do use this microphone, but do you really want to stick a big black thing on the groom?
Yeah, I know, right? Exactly, right?
Yeah.
I guess it could hide under the flower, right?
ruin every other picture.
Every other picture. So.
But if it was good audio. Yeah. Anyway, that wasn't the point. But anyway, and with the levelers, with the Sennheiser leveler on each one of them, they sounded quite equal. There were one that stood out.
Yes.
That had a slightly better audio quality, and it was the Senheisser.
I'm not surprised.
Because it sounded like it was more crisp, so I think it's the conversion from analog to digital.
Exactly.
In this one that has a better conversion.
Yeah. Kind of like the internal preamp that makes it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then we come to the noisy part.
Oh, this is exciting. So who stood out in the noisy one?
Yeah, unfortunately, it was the one we can't use.
The Saramonic.
Yes.
Right?
Because it only has 44 hertz.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, I had a question, because I don't know why they say that the sample rate is 44 hertz, because we're not recording to it internally.
Okay.
Did you notice it was 44 hertz?
I didn't saw it, no.
Because we're not recording on it, so we could actually use this so long as it's not the native recording device.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Maybe this guy is your winner.
Yeah, because the with its own leveler, it is a leveler with it,
it has.
right?
Yeah, exactly. This and the Sennheiser have their own lav.
You can hear it in the clips, and this sounded absolutely the best after my processing that I do when I have something recording in a noisy environment.
If I'm not wrong, your bestest bud in the whole world, Torbjörn, likes this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's the expert. He's like the guru of audio. So I do have some other thoughts that I had about these. Just talking about latency, because that is a thing when you're talking transmitters in real time. The LENSGO had 20 millisecond latency, or less than 20 seconds. The Saramonic had 12 milliseconds. The Rode had 3.5 to 4 milliseconds, and the Sennheiser had less than 4 milliseconds in terms of latency.
Yeah.
In terms of how many you can attach to, like, for example, you want to have more than one person in your recording, maybe up to 20 people, then the LENSGO can handle 20 units in a room. And we think that that's just the transmitters. So then probably 10 receivers, right?
Yeah.
The Saramonic, 18. The Sennheiser, up to 5. And the Rode, only 4.
I thought it was more on the Sennheiser.
Yeah. Just 5.
Yeah. Okay.
And then 4.
Yeah.
Now, Sennheiser just came out with a new professional belt pack, by the way.
Okay. Of course.
Yeah, exactly.
The premium one.
The premium one. They cost quite a lot. I am very eager to get my hands on it, but it is a hefty price. Internal charging on a professional belt pack. I think it's the first of its kind for that level.
Yeah.
And it auto-detects frequencies right across the board. But that's maybe another video for another time. We're talking about these guys. I'll get too excited. When it came to the Saramonic, one big benefit for this guy is the case is actually a power bank. So, you power the batteries and the microphones, you're also powering the case. So out in the field, when you're not like in between recordings, drop it back in on the case. And it will continue to charge the batteries. Okay. Which is the only one of these that does that.
That is super cool.
Right? That is a big benefit, especially when you're talking about not having the ability to change the batteries on the field. Having I can have a coffee for 5 minutes and throw that on there and boost it a little bit, right? Then when it comes to the microphones, right? Sennheiser, Saramonic both have microphones in them, and that's a huge benefit considering the cost of these microphones. Yeah. The lav mic for the Sennheiser itself, I think it costs somewhere between $100 and $200. Okay. Which is this is $300. Yeah. $350 on its own.
Yeah, it sounded like an improved version of the one we had.
Oh yeah, we had the ME2 10 years ago. This is the ME2 nice one. Yeah. But the Rode microphone's almost an extra $100. Yeah. On top of it. So price. This guy's $300, this guy's $300, this is $350, and this is $250. So the LENSGO comes in cheapest out of all of them, but you still have to add a microphone to it. Yes. And like we said, that is an extra cost to take into consideration. So think about the Saramonic and the Sennheiser have that cost already attached to them. Yes. And it makes the Saramonic the cheapest out of all of these sets. Right?
Yeah. And it could be the best choice.
Especially with the field charger. Yeah. Right, which is a surprise to me because I was really rooting for the Sennheiser.
So you don't have to put AA batteries in it at all?
No, you can't put any batteries
But this has AA batteries? Or is it...
No, it's all charging.
Okay.
Everything is USB charged.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one of the prerequisites for this comparison. An internal charge. What the Sennheiser and the Saramonic don't have, what the Rode and the LENSGO have, is internal recording, right? LENSGO with a memory card and Rode with the, with the internal software. Yeah. The Rode becomes a bit of a pain in the butt because you have to use Rode software to be able to convert what's on the device into something you can use. Okay. And it's always recording. Once you turn it on in the software, it's recording so long as the microphone is on, which is also a bit of an annoyance because, I guess you can maybe mute it. Yeah. Yeah, but sometimes in between recordings, we're just talking jokes, and I don't want my editor to hear that, Jessica. You don't need to hear all that. So, but the LENSGO stops, start recording, and it takes an SD card, which makes it so much easier for you to go with.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I had any other comments, actually. I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot to go over, so I do have a cheat note. I'm not going to pretend I have a cheat note, guys. I wasn't going to remember the exact time on how long each of these worked. So which one are we going to buy for you, Marcus?
Since we don't record to the Saramonic, I think that is the winner.
Saramonic's the winner. Awesome. I'd like to thank Cyberphoto here in Sweden. They provided 3 of these microphones for us to test today, and they'll be happy to hear that we're going to buy at least one of them. Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for watching.
Yes.
Marcus will come back to us hopefully later on in the year, maybe when we do our product review at the beginning of next year, and tell us how he's liking the Saramonic.
Yes.
And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, Marcus.
Thank you.